welcome back to another episode of the What Was That podcast. I'm Jazzy.
And I'm Addi.
It's August, and you know what that means?
Absolutely nothing. It's the most boring month of the year.
Okay, I need you to help me out here because I'm trying to set us up for our intro.
Oh, you're so right. It's back to school season, and right now you can save 50 pounds per person.
Stop. I'm going to do it. It's back to school season. Going back to school can be pretty scary, whether you're in elementary, middle, high school, or college.
Well, some of us didn't go to college, and I'd argue that the real world is way scarier.
Unless you have some of the stories that we're reading today. These are some scary school stories. Story 1. A disturbing occurrence on a school trip. Okay, so this is the first story that happened to me that I've shared online. Please be nice. I will do my best. So when I was 10, my school went on a trip to Edinburgh, Scotland. It took ages to get there, and by the time we got off coach, everyone was really tired. I was sharing a room with some of my friends. I'll just call them by their initials. We unpacked when we got to the room and chilled a bit before we went out for a tour of the city with a guide. Everyone was really tired, so no one was really paying attention. When we got back to our hotel at 8, we were told to go to bed to sleep. We all lay in our beds wide awake because no one could sleep. At about 9:30, there was a really loud truck driving past our window, so I got up to shut the window because it was cold anyway. When I looked down, I could see on the opposite side of the street an old man outside the door of the house opposite to us, staring up at the roof. Also, there were a group of teenage girls talking quickly in a foreign language. I did what any reasonable person would have done and looked up. Directly across from me, standing on the roof of the old man's house, there was a man, his feet inches away from the edge, looking at me. I still remember his face and that he was wearing a hoodie, a tracksuit, and Nike trainers. It dawned on me that he was going to jump. I shut the window immediately and told my friends, who were all petrified. O started crying and T started hyperventilating. And just then, there was a knock on our room. Then came more knocks as someone was frantically banging on the door. By this point, we were practically shitting ourselves. Although my friends told me not to, I opened the door, and in came two girls who were down on the street. They were talking in what I think was Italian and asking in broken English where my teacher was. I pointed them down the corridor to Mr. F's room, and they left. Moments later, Miss M came in, white as a sheet, and told us not to look out the window. I told her we already had, and she started to break down, telling us to get our stuff and go. Panicking, we were escorted down the corridor to Mr. F's room, where we stayed, talking for hours until we eventually calmed down. Miss M then took us downstairs to another room where we stayed the night, and she stayed with us. The rest of the trip passed without incident. Of course, our parents were informed, and I could see the next morning that even the teachers were visibly shaken. Nobody told us what happened to the man on the roof. For all I know, he could be dead. But none of my friends ever forgot what happened that night across from room 407. That's a hell of a start to your trip.
Yeah, that's the coolest trip I ever got to go on for school was I went to the Chicago Aquarium.
Ooh.
When I was in the 6th grade, because I lived in a town in Michigan that was 3 hours away from Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's cool.
I don't know why.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of school trips that I went on. I know I went on school trips. I think we went to Wanta National Park.
Wanta?
In 8th grade. What?
Wanta?
Wantua National Park?
Wantua. I thought you said Wanta.
Yeah, no. Wanta National Park. You ever been there? You want to?
Yeah, I never got to go to Edinburgh though.
Yeah, that's like super sick.
Well, they probably live in like the UK.
I went on a school trip to Germany. I lied. Yeah, I had a foreign exchange student. She ended up making out with my high school boyfriend, so that was cool.
Oh my god, you did tell me. Well, I didn't know you went to Germany. But only when they
came back,
yeah,
like years later to like visit. I was like, hey, we need to talk.
That's crazy.
Because you're being a little too friendly. but don't do anything until they're gone so we can, like, talk in depth because I don't want to fight in front of people.
Yeah. Insane.
Yeah.
I can hear myself talking in my headphones and it's like,
Oh.
almost, it's driving me crazy just a little bit.
Yeah. How do we...
I'm almost like, let's just take our headphones off.
That was my thought.
Okay.
Oh, all the way off?
Yeah. I don't want to hear myself anymore.
Mine aren't plugged into anything.
Whoa!
I've been lying to you this whole time.
Well, look at us. We don't have headphones on. That's fucking crazy. I can't hear myself. I can hear myself like in real life, and it's kind of throwing me off now even more.
I can hear myself all the way in real life because usually it's muffled.
It's muffled, yeah. I usually hear myself, but like through the mic.
Yeah.
But now I feel like I can tell if I'm being too loud. Anyway, back to the story.
Damn, that is so crazy. I hate
We haven't even talked about it. Anyway, story 2. We said literally nothing. That's so funny.
What did we even talk about? We talked about going on school trips. Anyway, Dan, that's crazy.
Anyway, regardless of where you go on a school trip, it would be really terrifying to look out your window as a young lad with your other lads.
Yeah, all the lads.
All the lads in a room together, looking out Oh, no, we're not laughing because of the plot of the story. It's a sad plot.
Of course not. I say it in all sincerity, but I'm giggly.
We're just giggly.
Okay, here's my... Let's go down an insane rabbit hole that's probably not true. It's definitely not true. Edinburgh's very haunted, isn't it? Yeah.
I mean, it's a really fucking old town. City.
Yeah.
Gabby knows a lot about Edinburgh. She's been a lot.
Yeah.
So, I want to know. I'm going to ask her after this if she's ever experienced anything creepy.
Yeah. If she's gone on any ghost tours, if she's seen anything, felt anything.
Yeah. I'm going to go with that it's not a ghost thing.
It's not a ghost, but
because it would be nice to think that.
Cut this out. It's not a ghost thing yet.
I'm not cutting that out.
It is now. Like,
okay, maybe I will cut that. I don't know. I'll leave it to discretion when I'm editing. We'll see.
I'm just joking.
Dark jokes.
Sorry.
Is this a safe place?
Is this a safe place for me to be an asshole?
I'm like, you should like...
There are bigger assholes out there. If we're gonna become,
like your moms. I was gonna say they should like us for us, right?
Yeah.
Like,
that's much nicer.
Yeah, you should. If you like me, you should like me for me.
Yeah. I was just like looking around.
Anyway, how terrifying would it be?
So scary.
Let me try that again. Okay. Get in the zone, get in the, I know we're in a silly goofy, but
I'm locked in.
Mentally lock into the fact that this guy was about to jump off a roof. Yeah. And then the next day the teachers were like sad.
I feel like he definitely, right?
Yeah, which is not funny.
No.
Don't say it! You can say anything and be like, it's not funny. And my brain will be like, maybe.
It's not funny.
Meat Canyon can say so much more. I feel like...
We'd be fine if we were Papa Meat.
We are Papa Meat. We're Mama Meat.
Mama Meat.
Mama Meats.
Yeah.
I'm
like crying. I'm laughing so hard.
You're crying because you're sad.
You're so right.
These are tears of sadness over this story. I'm laughing. Oh my God. We're not laughing at the story. Can we clarify? For the audience that are listening to this?
We're laughing because we're dumb, not because the story.
And we're a little silly feeling because we drank multiple alcohols.
Yeah.
Yes.
Legally, yes.
What do you want for me.
If I had to testify, I would have to agree.
If you
So I'd be
breathalyze
under
me
oath.
right now, then I would have to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
So.
We're under oath. I did
Who
have
put us under oath?
me right now. Under oath. We had a couple drinks. So yeah, damn, that's so crazy.
Oh my God.
I feel so bad for them. Because, like, especially, that's the beginning of your trip. Not that this is all about you and your trip, but...
No, that's a really hard way to start off a trip if you're, like...
That's gonna loom over the entire time.
Yeah, you're gonna keep, like, yeah. I mean... I was laughing before, and now I'm like, how traumatic. And then I remember something I lived through very traumatic recently. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's real funny to be laughing at.
Well, it's because the desensitization is working.
Thanks, America. This is the America everybody wanted. And now we just laugh at really sad stories.
There's an Olivia Rodrigo song where she talks about that. Call us Olivia. Best believe. Yep.
Yep.
There you go. There's that. That's us. Because we're
Some people like a dark
American.
joke every now and then.
We're clearly from all that.
Anyway, if I...
I'm so sorry. For how much you might need to cut out of that. So sorry you had to go through that. That's absolutely horrifying.
No!
I mean it for real. I'm trying to wrap it up so we can go to story 2. Because we gotta stop.
This
I
section's gonna be
already
like
have to pee.
20 seconds long. You'd be like,
Just
you
the
read the
story.
story, and then us being like, damn, that's crazy.
We keep trying to say something else and it keeps not working. So maybe we need to talk about someone who didn't.
That'd be really traumatic as a young school person to look out. At least, I was gonna say, at least you didn't see them jump. I have to pee. I'm going to pee my pants.
Good. Yeah, I peed a little bit.
I gotta go.
At least you know what? No, it was just a little bit.
Story 2. While hanging out at an abandoned school, me and my friends stumbled upon something. Back when I was in my early to mid-teens, around 2007 to 2008, me and a bunch of friends would regularly hang out outside of an abandoned school. A very small school with only 8 classrooms, a teacher's room, a cafeteria, 2 bathrooms, and 1 room we had no idea what it was since it was always locked, but I'll get back to that later. This school hadn't been able to keep up with the 80s modernization of our town and the large number of newcomers that followed with it, and as such, it quickly closed down in favor of new schools and buildings by the end of the 80s. Most of the place was boarded up completely, but you could enter through a window in one of the classrooms, where the board had been ripped down. Our routine was always the same. Whoever of us got off school first would go down to the building and go through the different rooms and make sure everything was empty and safe, as these buildings had earlier been known as a local spot for drug addicts and used needles and such were a common sight for us. So this one day, me and my friend were the first to get out of school, and as per usual, we take the walk to the building. But upon entering and stepping out of the classroom into the hallway, we immediately see a large man. I remember him as quite huge, but that might possibly be how he appeared to us as kids. And my friend lets out a huge scream. The man doesn't appear shocked or scared and doesn't seem to react to us, but he turns to look at us and asks, "Have you guys seen..." Insert friend's name here. We tell the guy that we haven't seen anyone and only just got there, to which he sighs and shrugs, and then pushes past us to leave the same way that we had just entered. Now our friend has an unusual name, so the chances that this guy was looking for another random guy who just happened to have the same name were pretty low, but none of us had ever seen this guy before, and I happen to know most of my friend's family pretty well. When we described what the guy looked like to our friend, he didn't seem to know who this guy could have been either, and for the next few months we were too scared to go back. When we did return about 3 to 4 months later, it was the middle of summer vacation, and we thought it would be fun to climb up on the roof of the building and sunbathe. Upon climbing it, we found the roof to be rather weak and close to caving in, but something made us take the risk and dare to venture out on the roof after all. A hole in the roof, which we figured would have to be directly above the room that we had never seen. The hole in the roof was only about the size of a football, and one of my friends came up with the idea to lower her arm down into the hole and film the room using her phone, so that way we could see what the room looked like. She puts her arm down, and as she's filming, she suddenly lets out a blood-curdling scream and immediately retracts her arm, but her phone is no longer to be seen. She was certain that something had knocked it from her hand, and as we looked down through the hole, we could see her phone laying on the floor. We climbed down from the roof and entered the building, now intent on doing whatever it would take to get into that room, so our friend wouldn't have to return home without a phone and have to explain what happened. About 30 minutes later, we finally managed to make a hole in the door and put our hands inside. And when we try to use the door handle from the inside of the door now opens without any trouble. We step inside and we all stare in silence. To this day, I have no idea what this room was doing in the school, and I sincerely hope it has never been used for what it looked like it was intended for. The room is about 4 by 4 meters, and the floor and the walls are of solid concrete. In the left center of the room, from where we entered, there were 2 metal bowls sitting on the floor, and at the back of the room were 5 chains dangling from the wall, 4 with equal-sized cuffs and 1 that looked like it would fit around a neck. Needless to say, we swiftly picked up my friend's phone and immediately left the place. However, the room had us both scared but slightly intrigued, so after some talk back and forth that same night, we decided to go back and look at it again the following day. When we returned the next day, we found the door to be locked again, and someone had covered the hole we had made in the door with a large wooden board nailed to the door. Once again, we immediately left, and after that visit, we never returned. I have no idea what we stumbled upon on that day, but I'm certain my days hanging out at that place is what sparked my interest in abandoned places. Today, I'm an experienced member of an Urban X community, and I've had much more sinister experiences with places like this that I might share with y'all some other time. Since talking about Urban X, it has been a dream of mine to go back to that school and check if that room's still there, but unfortunately, the place no longer exists, and the area is now home to a thrift store.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I don't know what else it could be, because, like, as you were reading it, I was like, okay, it can't be that bad, can't be that bad. They described it, I was like, it's probably worse.
Yeah.
I thought maybe someone was just, like, living in there.
Mm-hmm. No, to have, like, chains and then bowls on the ground for like, and the fact that it was covered up the next time that they went,
mm-hmm.
Yeah, it shows that somebody else, was actively going there and...
Yeah, well, because they said that, like, there's a lot of people coming in and out of there. So when they were like, oh, yeah, this person was looking for my friend with a unique name, I was like... What if it's just, like, the guy that they buy weed from, and they didn't recognize him, and then your friend didn't want to say that because you were in school? But then the story kept going, and it's much scarier now.
Yeah, that's really, really spooky. And I want to know... I don't know. I wish there was more information, because I'm like, could it be somebody that found that room, and now they're, like, really protective of it?
Yeah.
Or, I don't know.
It is wild that they went back, though. I would have not gone back. I do not have a death wish like that. Absolutely not.
No, I would not be like, hey, let me go check in on this room. I probably, like, even young, I probably would have called the cops, honestly.
I also would have called the cops and be like, hey, I found this weird thing.
Yeah, this
or
weird
I'm hearing
room.
rumors, because I didn't break and enter, but I've heard some rumors, anonymous tip.
And I'm leaving an anonymous tip. Don't star 67 my number, but...
There's definitely some chains and...
some food dishes
in
one of the rooms. I had multiple thoughts while I was reading this. They all progressed differently as we were reading the story, because it obviously got worse. But when it started, the first thing I thought about was my school that I went to when I lived in Michigan. It was a school that was built in, like, the late 1940s or something. Like, old.
Yeah.
Very, very, very old school. The whole town was really old. It was like a population of, like, 500 people. Like, very small town. And the school, like, the middle school and high school were 1 hallway each.
Okay.
Literally, like...
That's insane.
Yeah, it was... Like, the back hallway was high school. The front hallway was 7th grade.
Okay.
So it was, like, 7th, 8th grade. But then there was, like, it was kind of like a horseshoe, and there was like a gym at the front, and then they added on a gym in the back.
Okay.
And the gym in the back was like new, like within the last 10 years. But the gym at the front had been there since the school opened. And so we had like an overnight sleep in at the school for when I was in cheer and when I was in band. And it's old, so it's haunted, right? Mm-hmm. But they used to play like really horrible tricks on us as like kids. I was because I was in 7th grade. So, and again, it's a small school, so the 7th, 8th, and all the high school are all like hanging out all the time because it's one hallway. So the 9th graders and sophomores, the juniors and seniors like didn't really care, but the freshmen and sophomores like fucked with the 7th and 8th graders a lot, and they'd like the story of the gym was in the girls' locker room. A girl like got assaulted while she was in the shower. She hit her head on the wall and passed away.
Yeah. And
it like happened in that shower room. So that was like the lore of the school and how it was like originally haunted, and then it expanded from there, obviously. But when we would do like our lock-ins where we stay in the school all night, people would go in and like write stuff on the mirrors and like fake blood and like leave messages in lockers for us to find. And it was just always really creepy. And when you would walk around at night, because
it's what you do at a lock-in.
Yeah, you're teenagers. You're like, let's see how haunted this place is. So you walk around and like, I'm like, I've never had a paranormal experience. Lied. Because I don't like think about this like as prominently, you know, because you kind of question the actual like
validity.
Yeah, thank you. The validity of it, because I did have like all these girls also trying to like fuck with things, but there were there were multiple times where like we were walking around and we would hear things like desk chairs like move, or like doors kind of like lock into place. And we heard one time like a girl's voice from the gym area, and we were like, that's weird. But and you could definitely like feel it. Like there was like a vibe in that school that you could just feel that something isn't good there. But yeah, it was spooky being in that school, especially at lock-ins. Yeah.
I told my sister a little white lie that it may have started the rumor that her school was haunted. In my defense, my mom would sign me up for a lot of babysitting gigs when I was in high school. And so one of them was to watch these kids during like a MOPS group or something. And they were running up and down the stair area, and they're all like 6 and under. So I was like, we really shouldn't be running on the stairs. I was like, hey, you guys need to stop. They're not listening. I was like, hey, you need to stop, because I know this as an older kid who's had lock-ins at this school. This stairwell is actually haunted because a kid fell down when he was playing with his ball, and now it's haunted. And as an older kid who's done lock-ins, I know this to be true. Years later, I heard another kid say, like, this is haunted by a little boy who fell, and I was like, it sure is. Don't run on the stairs.
Yep, be safe. That reminds
Hold the rail.
That reminds me of when I was in high school. I went to like a pretty wild high school, I guess. They just did some silly stuff, but silly stuff like throw like trash cans filled with firecrackers off of the 2nd floor into the 1st floor seating area, fun stuff like that.
School in the 80s got it.
Yeah, except it was like early 2010s, but
yeah.
Like one of their senior pranks was they like covered a couple of the stairwells in baby oil, and one of the teachers went down and like broke his back.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I'm not laughing because of the teacher breaking his back, but I'm just laughing.
What did they think was gonna happen?
That was the school, man. That was like it was a fun time.
The high school prank that happened my year, these girls there's a big deal about the teachers parking and student parking, but you couldn't park in teachers parking without getting a ticket. Huge deal. So they got horse shit and put it all over the teachers parking lot. which they took in stride. They're like, this is funny, we get it. But then they also took glue and put it in all the locks. So they legally got in trouble for that.
Like all the locks for their car doors?
No, for like the school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That one, yeah.
That's a good clarifier.
Yeah. I guess that makes sense. The horse shit is pretty funny.
Did you have people taking like deer and elk pee that they would use from hunting and put it like on the other team's stands?
No, I lived in civilization.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I also went to high school in an 80s movie.
Yeah.
So that was nuts.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Story 3.
No, but it also made me think of, and this is unrelated, but there's a Faz map of a high school.
Oh, cool.
It's called the Brownstone High School.
Yeah.
And it's just like a massive high school, and it's scary. It is so scary, and it's hard to find any ghosts in there because there's like 90 rooms or something.
I bet it's huge.
Yeah, it's massive. There are 2 floors. But it's super spooky. But I'm just imagining when they were like, we're walking through this old decrepit high school, I'm imagining myself like walking through Brownstone.
Yeah.
And I'm like, where am I going? Okay, where would this room be? And if you guys are wondering, I would imagine that this room is like all the way on the first floor, all the way at the very end on the left, but like a couple rooms in from the side door. If you guys play Spaz, you know. If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
Anyway, Dan, that's crazy.
That's so crazy.
Wow, what the fuck? That's crazy. Okay, anyway, story
be
3.
hanging out there. Me, a 30-year-old, you should not be hanging out there.
We used to go to a lot of abandoned places when I was younger. I went to an abandoned veterans hospital once.
Oh, I thought that was creepy.
It was... I don't think I've ever been like that scared in my life, and nothing really happened. But like I literally, I'm not. I do not believe in God. Let me just say that. But I had like crosses and like Bible verses, like
just in case,
written on me.
Yeah,
and because I like there's a lot of like lore behind this hospital that is like it's pretty popular, like where I was living at the time, and we brought a Ouija board. And we brought salt to make a salt circle. We brought little tea candles. We brought water. And we brought earth so we could, like, have, like, firewood. And we, like, started doing the Ouija board. And the problem is, and this is why I'm always like, I don't know if it was paranormal because I was with other people. So I can't really tell you for sure. But we did a Ouija board and we were, like, getting answers back. But I was like...
Is someone who's pushing it?
Yeah, I was with like 3 other people, so I'm like, one of you guys could be fucking with it. One of my friends that was with me was also as scared as I was.
Okay. So probably not them.
Probably not them. But the other 2 people that I were with, like, I don't think, I feel like one of them definitely could have.
Yeah.
But the only reason that we left was because we heard somebody start yelling in the hospital, and like, a lot of people go there because it's abandoned, so.
Either which way.
I don't know. Well,
alive or dead. I don't want to figure out.
No, and that's why we left too. Because we were like, I didn't think it was a ghost. Like I literally was like, oh my god, a person is here, and we immediately were like, oh my god, are the cops here? So we ran downstairs. And there were still like gurneys inside and like file cabinets and like different like hospital equipment.
Wild.
It was spooky. It was really, really spooky. There's also, like, a little hotel down the road that people would go to a lot. I didn't like going because how popular it was. Like, there were cops all over it all the time.
Gotcha.
So, I had been around there, but I never went inside.
Yeah.
So.
We used to go to UC Channel Islands because before it was a university, it was a mental institution.
It's fun.
And they just, there's still bars on some of the windows for sure. So we would like go walk around and be like, that spot's pretty creepy. Because I was also like around like American Horror Story Asylum. So you just like walk around and be like, hey, you go stand over there. That looks spooky.
Yeah.
That was about it though.
Yeah. There was a story, and I'm trying to remember if it was like a Reddit story or if it was like a book. Or I don't remember what it was, but there was a college in what used to be an asylum, and this girl had, like, a haunted room, and people kept, like, you know,
Ooh,
in the
like
room.
that.
So, I think it was a movie. Oh, I think it's Blackbeard's Daughter. Is that what it's called? Or Blackcoats. It's Blackcoats.
Okay.
I don't know why I remember that, like, last minute. Google didn't even tell me. But, yes, Blackcoat's Daughter. We need to do an episode on, like, psych wards and psych ward stories.
Yeah.
Those are, that kind of thing freaks me out.
It freaks me out, too.
Yeah. It's, like, freaks me out the most because I think about how if they were more prominent in this day and age, like, I would be in one. You know, because, like, they institutionalize anybody and everybody, you know? Like, if you had any sort of inkling of something being wrong with you, they're like, off to the institution. Yeah, off you go to the loony bin.
I hate that.
Yeah.
This is not entirely related to what you just said, but I did match with a guy who gives ghost tours on Hinge.
Hell yeah.
I did forget to respond for a couple of days, so I need to be better about that.
Okay.
But...
if you get the chance,
take us on a ghost tour.
Let me know.
Yeah.
Because I would love to. I would love to.
Yeah.
I haven't been on a ghost tour since I went to Tombstone, Arizona.
Ooh, I bet that was a good one.
It was pretty good. We went to the Birdcage, which is like the oldest like brothel in the country or something.
Yeah.
And it's like it's very haunted. There are like thousands of deaths that happen there.
Yeah.
But it was like 2012. So I had a little digital camera, you know, but I had my fucking camera. I carried that bitch around everywhere.
Absolutely.
And we went through the Birdhouse Theater, or Birdcage Theater. We went through it, and I was taking pictures in, like, every room, and there were orbs everywhere.
Ooh, wow.
Everywhere. Yeah. And I was like, I'm young, so I don't really understand, like, what orbs are. I'm like, oh, it's just dirt. And, like, the lady, like, looking at my pictures, she's like, no. those are orbs. And now that I'm, like, an adult, I, like, think about all the pictures that I've taken in old places. And I'm like, I've never seen anything like that.
That's wild.
Yeah.
There is that bar that we went to that had the carnival pop-up last year. I'm pretty sure that used to be a brothel.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I can't wait to go to that again.
Yeah, we'll
That'll
take
be
some
so
pictures.
Fun. Yeah. That building that's off the highway, downtown, the like big round one. Yeah. Apparently, the story behind that one is that the ballroom in the basement, they this girl that's where the story of the dancing with the devil comes from. She danced with the devil in that ballroom all night and died.
That's wild.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to look that up during daylight hours so I don't get scared in my dreams.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's wild.
Yeah, there's lots of... That's why I'm I want to take a ghost tour because there's already so much lore behind our town.
I just need to message that guy and be like, hey...
I don't want to date you, but... Can we go on a ghost tour, maybe?
Yeah. That sounds sick. Thanks. We'll pay you.
Yeah, I don't
I'll
mind.
get you a beer. Story 3. When my grandmother went to boarding school in the 50s and 60s. I come from a reservation in South Dakota, and my family loves telling me stories from their childhood, so I know all kinds of stories that my grandma told me. She has a lot of good and sometimes strange stories that have happened to her throughout her life. This is one of the strange stories she told me when she was younger, and she had to go to boarding school with her sister. This was in another town called Rosebud. I'm not sure if the school is still there anymore. When she got there, the nuns at the school were really abusive and liked to mess with my grandma and sister. One night, her and her sister were sleeping with their other peers in a room lined with beds. It was past midnight, and my grandma was awoken by a noise coming from across the room. She couldn't see anything because it was so dark in the room. So she woke up her sister, and they both laid in their beds, in fear of what might happen. Then they started to hear a noise, like some sort of animal's paws scratching and scraping across the floor as it walked towards the beds. Both my grandma and her sister were in shock because there were no dogs or any animal allowed in the building. My grandma thought one of the nuns were just messing around and trying to scare them again. Then, my grandma felt her bed spring lift in the air, and soon whatever was in the room with them was under their bed. My grandma never told me what happened after that. She looked disturbed by even telling the story to me. Another strange incident happened while they stayed at the school was when all of them were playing together downstairs. My grandma was dared to open the door to the attic. that they were not supposed to open. Once my grandma opened the door, they all heard a thumping and then saw a pair of legs bolting down the attic step. Oh my God. She told me there was no upper body, just a pair of legs running at her. They all start to scream and took off running away from the door and never went near it again. After hearing about the story she told me about that place, I don't think I'm ever going to allow my children near that school. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah, no, that's actually a horror movie.
Just legs.
Yeah. Why do all the people in the 50s and 60s get all the fun?
Because they weren't on their damn phones.
They were paying attention. Their minds were more open.
Yeah. There's like ghosts in our corner being like, "Ooh," and I'm like, darling, who I am.
It's like half the horror movies nowadays is like making fun of.
It's like a horror movie on Zoom because we know that's all you're paying attention to.
Yeah, it's just an app that overtakes your phone and it kills you slowly one by one because that's all you look at is a damn phone.
Goddamn phones.
Yeah, but that would be terrifying. That is actually our new idea for our next horror movie.
Yeah.
Trademarked copyright. Sorry, Redditor.
Patent pending. They're going to be in a town called
Rosebud.
Yeah.
That's a cute town name.
That's a cute town name.
Yeah. Have you ever gone to, what did they say, South Dakota or North Dakota? South Dakota. Have you gone to South Dakota?
I have. Yeah.
I have also gone to South. Mm-hmm. That's where the
they have Mount Rushmore and then they have Crazy Horse. Crazy Horse is much more.
Crazy Horse is
crazy.
Awesome.
It's so cool.
I'm like, how
Skip
are you?
Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
Go to Crazy Horse.
I remember
way cooler.
when we went, because we went to Mount Rushmore and a Crazy Horse. We stayed at like a cute little town, which was very haunted.
Ooh.
Like the
Did it have a little pie shop there?
I was 9 years old. Don't remember.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember the one thing we did do a little like cookout, like a chuck wagon cookout.
Cute.
Yeah, but we stayed at this little like inn, and it was like me and my sister and my like two brothers were like in a room together. And we were like in bunk beds, and I think it was an old school.
Ooh,
was where we stayed at. I'm pretty sure it was an old school.
Yeah.
And like, because they were like, you'll hear kids and stuff throughout the night. Like it's like that haunted that you'll like hear like kids and babies and stuff. And I, being a kid, I'm like, all right, whatever, you know. But we were laying in bed, like all of us, and we all woke up around the same time to a baby crying.
Miss, I've never had a paranormal experience. Drops 2 in one episode.
But they can, I mean, it's like not like for sure, you know? Like
it could just be a baby.
It could just be a baby. Or there was not really any other family staying in that little place with us,
could
but
be a haunting.
Yeah, but it was really cool. Well, that would be really scary. I hate.
Oh.
Yeah.
Just this whole scenario. Awful, traumatizing. On top of that, it's haunted.
Yeah. I would not want to be, again, I keep going back. I'm like, that's a horror movie. Being dropped off at a school where it's like a Catholic private residential school where they're just nuns taking care of everyone. Yeah. And haunted shit starts happening. That's the plot of like 50 horror movies. Yeah.
But that shit out.
Yeah, no. And I'm like, do ghosts have a lifespan? Like, do they only live? Because I feel like after like the 70s, like it kind of like you don't hear a lot of haunting stories, you know?
No, we need like. We don't need, but like, where are the modern ghosts at? I want to see the Gen Z ghosts.
You won't see them
just see like
they're
a
always
puff
on their damn phone.
Yeah. Just like, what's that? It smells like cotton candy.
Oh. Smells like menthol. Mango?
What is that?
Is that a jewel? Yeah, that's like, we're never going to see a Gen Z ghost because Gen Z ghosts don't care enough about anything.
They're not going to stick around to haunt.
As a Gen Z,
let me the fuck out of here. You think I want to stay here and haunt this?
Why would I be here?
My business finished. Why am I going to stay around?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I spent too much time here already.
Yeah.
I didn't ask
I was trying to get out sooner.
Actually. Yeah, actually. I could have just like, praying, waiting on the world, you know, kind of thing. I really thought that, like, 25 I'd be out, but here I am.
Here we are.
Yeah.
The horrors persist.
Finally
So
a
must
ghost. Why would I still be here?
Yeah, I'm just gonna whoop, whoop, whoop away.
I'm going to whatever afterlife there is. If that's a void, then that's where I'm going. Story 4. The thing at the abandoned school. Always back to the abandoned schools.
Yeah, nobody's in there except the ghosts.
I was talking with friends earlier and decided to share here too. Me and my friend group will go to abandoned buildings to explore them. We've been to factories, mills, hospitals, schools, homes, and even an underground power facility. It's fun. One day, our planner in the group found a school that was shut down in the early 2000s due to poor structural integrity. While doing some more digging, we discovered that there was a murder there not long after the school shut down, and the body was never found. That didn't stop us. We still went out because ghosts aren't real, right? That's what I thought. Well, that's what we all thought before we stepped into that school. Come to the night of our expedition, we struggled to get everyone in the door because only 2 of the 4 of us could fit through the broken door. That was me and my buddy Chris. Seeing how me and Chris were already inside, we decided to glance around the place to see what we found. While walking through a classroom, Chris tells me he's going to let the girls, other 2, know that we can't get everyone in this time around. I said okay, and stayed behind because I don't usually scare easily. While in this class, I walk towards a shared closet and start feeling uneasy. I tell myself,
it's just the dark and I'm alone now.
I make my way into the closet, and just as I'm about to step into the other classroom, I get this strong feeling like I shouldn't go in there. I've never felt something like that, and I decided to trust my gut feeling. Right as I'm leaving, it feels like someone is behind me. I start to hear this tapping on a metal desk, and the tapping gets faster and more violent, almost like someone tapping with their fingers. I ran the fuck out of there. My friends all got a good laugh and we left, but I needed answers. What made that tapping? Why did I have those feelings? If ghosts aren't real, then what was that? I literally couldn't sleep at night. I convinced my friends we should go back. The next weekend came around and we were back, except this time, we brought the right tools to get everyone in. After about 30 minutes, we get the girls in and we start walking through the gym. That's when something fell. Then another thing fell. I thought the roof was falling apart until I saw something arching in the dark. If it's falling from the roof, it should fall straight down. It shouldn't look like it's thrown from 10 feet away from me, but you could see this stuff flying horizontally if you caught it with your light. This went on for about 20 minutes before it stopped. At this point, me and my friends were pretty freaked out, but nobody wants to come out and say what we were all thinking. So we moved to a classroom down the hall. As soon as we stepped in, me and the other girls saw a piece of wood go flying from a desk. It went from sitting still to moving at an incredible speed on its own. It still blows my mind, and I still don't know exactly what it was. We would see stuff flying down the hall like someone was throwing it, but we couldn't hear any footsteps. There was no way anyone could make it through the school without making the floor beneath you squeak and pop. At some point, I started interacting with it. I started throwing trash and debris down the hall from the classroom door, and those objects would be thrown back. This went on for about half an hour before it finally stopped. The last thing it threw, it was like an MLB pitcher used all of its strength to throw whatever it had, and that was that. I started looking at different religions the next day and eventually settled for Christianity. That school forever changed my life and the idea of an afterlife. I'm not superstitious. I don't think demons and angels are responsible like a religious fruitcake. However, I do believe in a higher power now, that's for sure.
Okay, I have a few thoughts.
That's propaganda. This person wrote this story and they were like, trust Jesus. Trust
I'm
God,
just saying. First, we'll start out towards the beginning of the story. When they're like, oh yeah, I like comforted myself because I felt uneasy by saying, it's just dark and I'm alone now. That makes me feel worse.
Yeah, why would you ever say that? It's just dark and I'm all alone. That's like, step bro, why am I stuck in here? Like,
literally.
That's literally, like, he's like walking through and he's like,
no.
oh my God, it's so dark.
Anything scary
And
could
I'm
get
all
me.
alone. That's how I talk to a ghost in Phas when I'm trying to get it to hunt. Like, I'm like, oh no, it's so dark.
Yeah.
Senpai, I'm all alone.
Absolutely not. That makes me feel so much worse, you little crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's taunting.
But then the fact that, like, you see something, like, throwing shit. And you're like, yeah, I did that for like 20 minutes. Why were you there for 19 minutes?
Yeah. It's just like
you
throwing
just
stuff on the hallway. I want to know what
closer.
Yeah, let me go see what's thrown out. It's like the rainbow, the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, this keeps going down. Every time I move, it gets further and further.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's crazy that it ended with the religious propaganda of being like, and after that, I went home and found myself a new religion.
Settled on Christianity. I wonder why Christianity. I feel like there's other options.
Yeah, why did you settle on Christianity? It feels interesting.
How much did you look into like everything else? Because I feel like this is like if you're really diving into everything.
Yeah, I feel like Christianity, if you like do your like due diligence on religions, I feel like Christianity would be like the last one I personally would pick.
I think organized religion as propaganda to control people. So
100%. Yeah.
I don't know.
Sorry, guys.
Like,
love you. Not judging you if you are a Christian at all, but
don't judge you, live your life. But like, also maybe
don't
stop
judge
judging
me.
other people.
Yeah. Why are you judging anybody else?
Yeah.
It's your own life. Yeah. Anybody, if you're gonna die, it's gonna be by yourself. So stop trying to control anybody else's life. Sorry.
Yeah, you fucking weirdo. Anyway, damn, who knew that would be so scary?
I imagine, so like we've talked about before in like the show Ghost, how it was like really hard for a ghost to like push something.
Yeah.
How did this ghost throw something like an MLB pitcher?
All of their might. They've been saving it.
Dude, it's like a Guitar Hero streak. You're like holding it there. That's what they've been throwing stuff for the whole time. They're like getting like perfect aims. Yeah. It's like, all right. 4 times multiplier, oh shit, okay, star power, star power!
And it doesn't hit anyone, and they're like, fuck.
It was for nothing, just like when I used my star power and ended my streak.
Yeah, right.
Same thing.
I'm going down now, I'm tired.
I'm done. I use all my energy for the next 50 years.
Yeah.
Maybe they're like cicadas, and that's why they're not, ghosts aren't as prevalent.
Yeah, because they just like
hibernate for like 50 years. Mm-hmm. Every time they do something really crazy, they have to hibernate.
Yeah, they're like, ugh.
Yeah, take too much power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I live life now, so. Damn, that was so crazy. Who knew that school could be so scary?
I mean, we went to school.
Okay, again with the attitude, I'm gonna give you an F for this episode.
F for fuck. Yeah, you're right. I just really wanted to get an A, but you know what will get you listeners an A? Liking, commenting, subscribing, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Reddit, all at _the pod. You can listen to us anywhere that you stream podcasts. We're also on YouTube, too, if you're listening to this on YouTube, which you probably are. Heart. Yeah. And if you want to send us your own story, you can get some extra credit there and send it to our email at whatwasthat.thepod@gmail.com.
All right, for that amazing outro, I'm gonna up your grade to a D.
D for Wait, what was that?